Rosanna, as well as Brian for inviting me here tonight. I didn't grow up too far from this place, about 2.5 hours away in Richmond Hill, Queens. I was the second oldest of 4 children, and I grew up in fear. I grew up in fear of being yelled at, fear of making a mistake, fear of getting hit, fear of getting punished, and fear of losing my parents. I had so much fear overwhelming me that I hid in different parts of the house when the yelling started. I would run to my bedroom and hide on top of a big safe in the closet. There were shirts and jackets shielding me, and I was very fortunate to be so small because I could hide from all the yelling. I was so fearful that I was shy, withdrawn, and quiet, and it was bothersome to my parents that I was so introverted. But I was scared, afraid to make a mistake or do something wrong, or do something that was perceived wrong. It led me down a tumultuous path with my parents, especially my father. I remember he was so angry because I was so quiet one evening that he took me in my pajamas, put me in the car, and drove me toward a police station. He told me he was going to leave me there. Fear certainly saturated my body that night. As I got older, he would try other methods, including stopping the car on the Grand Central Parkway and telling me to get out when I was 10 years old. I stood there on the grass, watching my sisters scream in the window as he pulled away. Eventually, he reversed the car and demanded I get back in. I was also conditioned to think in a certain way, that all accused were guilty, those who can't find work don't really want to work, and those who are homeless deserve what they got. To overcome this fear, I had set up in my mind a neat and narrow path as to how my life would unfold. I was pretty sure by the age of 12 where I wanted to go to school and what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I was going to attend St. John's University and have a career in journalism. What I didn't realize then is that there really isn't a perfect road on this journey, one without obstacles and challenges and without fear. Before my senior year of college, my mother died from breast cancer. She had fought a valiant 2-year battle until she was called home by God at a very young age of 47. She was my protector, shielding me from my father's wrath for the most part. So I did what any fearful person would do. I spent a lot of time out of the house and upstairs bunkered down emotionally in my room. After I graduated, I found it extremely difficult to get a full-time job, or even a part-time job for that matter. Besides the challenging job situation, my relationship with my father, which had always been troublesome, had grown even worse with my mother's passing. With her gone, I spent most of my time upstairs in my 3rd floor attic bedroom, usually listening to Bruce Springsteen or writing. My father handed me $100 one night and said he had had enough of me, and he told me to leave. Attempts to find affordable housing were futile, and shelters at night were full and not safe in New York City back in the 1980s. Eventually, I used what money I had to pay for subway tokens and an occasional cup of soup while riding the E train at night. I was a college graduate, yet I was homeless with nowhere to go. On those long nights, I did what came naturally. I had a big green plastic bag of belongings. I took my notebook out and my pen, and I began to write about some of the more emotional points of my life. Sometimes I would just grab the last seat on that E train, bury my face as much as I could into my chest, and allow the heaters to warm up my sneakers. I cried a lot during those nights, wondering why this was happening to me. I thought maybe I even somehow deserved this fate. I even hid underneath a pew in a church near my old house and was relieved when I heard them lock the door.